This is the embracing medical cannabis treatment will get people back to work. Well, it won't it'd do a lot more than that if they do criminalise it legally. It'd earn so much money and employment. But here we go on to explain. So this is written by Asif Dewan, who's a managing director of Medical Cannabis Cleef. I won't say the name because I don't like advertising companies too much. On Tuesday, Work and Pensions Minister Liz Kendall unveiled Labour's ambitious plan to address economic inactivity, aiming to get 2.8 million people back in work. So, which is quite a chunk of people. But I think that if we decriminalise cannabis, we could consume probably twice that amount. So the focus is on improving British health central to this effort. The UK unemployment rate lags behind many of our European neighbours and most OECD nations. Long-term illness in the UK is a major cause. Embracing medical cannabis as a legitimate treatment option could be pivotal in this mission. Since its legislation in 2018, medical cannabis has been proven to safely treat over 50 conditions, including chronic pain, anxiety and depression, as long as a long list of other stuff we all know about. So despite its potential for getting people back to work, the NHS prescriptions for medical cannabis remain exceedingly rare, which is true in a way, but it's picking up.
That's kind of an understatement, isn't it, though? Exceedingly rare.
Yeah. But it's because of the costs, the price. It's just financial reasons. That's the only reason behind it, because you have to pay for it quite extortionate rates, really, for sort of pharma stuff as well. The last record suggested only 5 patients were being prescribed it via the NHS for limited conditions, which is true, but everyone else is buying it, isn't they? So it's a lot of people out there. So 30,000, wasn't it, or more? Like within one of our last news stories.
About 20,000 last I seen. But
so
it could
this is not
up to 30,000. You know.
Yeah, I think it's 30,000, but still, it's not really that many in what's needed when it's estimated at least 1 million use it for medical use. So it's a very small percent then. So this has not stopped British people from legally accessing treatment. They've just got to go private. So prescriptions for cannabis products, CBPMs, more than doubled between 22 and 23 when 177,000 items were dispensed. Damn. So it doesn't say how many people, but that's sort of like still a lot. When they say 177,000 items, I assume that would be like the whole 10-gram packs, all the gummy packs.
I would think the same as well. Like one tub of 7 ounces, or no, 10 grams of cannabis is what it usually is, isn't it? Yeah. So 176 of those, all the bottles of oil instead, or you know.
What are the edibles? So whatever one, So almost 8 in 10, 76% of our patients are employed in sectors like nursing, teaching, hospitality and technology. And many who were previously unemployed due to long-term illness are now back to work because of medical cannabis, which again proves how great it is. So patients like Sarah, who suffers from hypermobility syndrome, and Steve, who struggled with the physical and mental impact of road traffic accident, have experienced life-changing improvements through medical cannabis, allowing them to return to work. So if the Work and Pensions Minister needs more reassurance of the link between medical cannabis and improved societal health, countries like Germany and Canada offer promising examples. So Germany's embrace of medical cannabis since 2017 has improved patients' quality of life. And obviously their recent changes in law are going to even have a bigger impact than that. So, or Canada's legislation has reduced opioid prescriptions and opioid-related deaths, which obviously is, again, a health benefit, really, because if you're not dead, you're slightly more healthier, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just a little bit. So by improving access to medical cannabis, we can alleviate the NHS waiting lists, currently at an unprecedented 7.57 million cases.
Wow. That's like more than 10% of the population.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's that's ludicrous, isn't it? And I bet they're waiting for like more than 3 months, all of them, for that as well. Sometimes years, 36 weeks and shit. And support so they want to support the government's efforts to enhance the health and productivity of our nation. A healthy society is a productive one, and medical cannabis could be a crucial component in combining an economic inactivity, which is right. So I can understand him wanting to make money for his business, but also it's like, well, he's being honest. Like, if people use cannabis, they're going to get back to work, create more economic business. If we allow it to become regulated, then we're going to make money on the employment, the tax from it, the whole sort of like everything around it. I don't what's it called, the when they measure the nation's growth sort of thing.
The GDP, yeah,
that's the thing. So it add a large chunk to the GDP, wouldn't it? So
we can see the benefits it would cause, but I wonder what the government are going to do about it. You know, having this conversation right now when there's so much going on in the UK and the government have got a lot to deal with. Cannabis isn't anywhere near the fucking list right now. You know what I mean? But it would be interesting to know if making arguments like this towards the government would change their minds. Would they consider legalizing properly to get more money out of the cannabis if they saw proper statistics? You know.
Yeah, now we've got a new government. At least they may again look at it just because of the financial difficulties they're in. Just for that reason only, they may at least, let's at least look for that reason, sort of thing. So the more people that
like one of the biggest concerns I have though is how many companies are going to be like, oh no, they're using cannabis, fire them. You know, because it still has that stigma and it's not accepted as a medicine like that. So there could be people who go out, get work, but have to use cannabis as a medicine during their shift. And that won't be acceptable by many employers. Would they be fired for it? You know what I mean?
I suppose that's the thing that when you deregulate and all that, that's why you need some sort of regulation for that side of things. You need laws to cover workers' rights and things like that. So that's really where mostly the laws need to come in. It's not the laws covering cannabis, it's the laws around everything, so people's workers' right, housing rights as well, so you can't get evicted because you use or grow cannabis sort of thing in some shitty fucking local housing association who want to kick you out because you're like in a wheelchair and you had to join.
That's the kind of cannabis law we need. Cannabis law that protects the consumer. That's what we want.
Yeah,
you know?
that's the laws we need, and it's like we don't need laws for about cannabis. We need laws to protect the consumers around cannabis, and that's it.
Yeah. Especially with the medical consumers that are doing it totally legal and should be completely left alone anyway.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Again, like we live in like a grey area, so you could be using legitimate cannabis from your doctor, sit outside in your garden in your wheelchair, and then your neighbours complain and you get evicted. It's like, what the actual fuck?
Exactly, man.
So at least this is kind of positive in a small manner. So at least there's someone, again, even though he's looking at on the business side of things, at least he's opening up avenues and discussing the truth, which is all I really ask people to do, is just talk about it truthfully and honestly.
Good article. If you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you for the full show on Sundays on youtube.com/high on homegrown. Thanks for watching.